Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped is brought to you in part by White Rocks Design Studio at Turcotte Design, who's been serving Southern Vermont for over 20 years. Fish Donkey, the future of tournament fishing. Targets Unlimited, Mercer Sports. Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped hot sauce with that big craft heat and that big craft taste. Corker Boots, P-Line, Sugar Mountain Trading Company. The Outdoor Experience Guide Service, who has been serving Southern Wisconsin for over 20 years. Cooler Guard Spray with the cleaning power of enzymes. Okuma Fishing, Hoffman Lures Incorporated, and a proud member of the Southwest Chamber of Commerce. You love fishing, but hate the fishy smell that comes with it? Then you need Sugar Mountain Trading Company's Fisherman's Soap. This all-natural soap is made with charcoal, rose clay, and coffee to remove even the toughest fishy smells. It also leaves your hands feeling soft and smooth. So next time you're out on the water, don't forget to bring your fisherman's soap. It's the perfect way to keep your hands clean and smelling fresh. Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped. I'm your host, Chris Bates, sitting alongside me there, feisty, spicy Stephanie Calabro. And, you know, a couple weeks ago, we were out fishing. Or no, we were out looking for places to fish, and we were filming, and we ran into an incident.
That's right.
And so I wasn't quite sure what the incident was, but I filmed it, and we talked about it. I wrote an article about it in the Bennington Banner, and we are so lucky to have our good friend, Travis Buttle, in from the Vermont Department of Fish and Wildlife. Did I get it right finally?
You got it right. You got it right.
Because we don't call them DNRs.
Here.
No, we're not DNRs.
No. So, Travis, a couple weeks ago, and I talked to you about it.
Yep.
And I thought, gosh, what a great show we can have and talk about fishing violations. How do you know if it's a fishing violation? And are they poachers? You know, and so I guess I'll start this off by the incident that we saw were some people at a local dam here by the Henry Bridge.
Yep, a local dam.
A local dam, Henry Bridge. And there was a couple out fishing, and I was really excited when they caught their first fish. And I said, stop, look over there. They got one. It was a nice brown trout. I could see right everything. But then when I watched him take it off the hook and where he hung it, kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, who hangs a fish in a tree? Well, right away is the big flag goes up and says, get the camera rolling. So I'm looking over there with the camera, folks. I'm like,
Zoomed in.
And I zoomed right in on it, and I saw a bunch of fish hanging in the tree. Now, in that section of the river, it's a 2-fish limit per angler.
Correct.
So my question is, how do you go about handling a situation like that? For me, I just said, I'm going over there. But mostly, how would someone handle that? And are they considered poachers?
Well, you know, poachers is a loose term. You can label anybody with anything if you want, but you know, fish and wildlife violators, poachers, you know, someone who makes a general mistake or whatever. It doesn't matter what label you put on them. Right. It's, you know, they're in violation of a law of some sort, and these folks were definitely in violation of the regulation that's for that section of river. The bloom sack is where we're talking. It's a 2-fish limit during the open trout fishing season. Right. And then outside of that season, it's catch and release only. And so think if I remember right, you said you'd counted, I think, close to 6 fish for 2 people?
8. I had 8 fish.
Okay. Yeah. And that's kind of one of the things, too, is that, like say, if you and I were fishing together in that section of river, and I know you're a better angler than I am.
Right.
And I was, beating the water with my rod, and you're catching fish left and right. You can't claim my bag, so you can only catch and possess 2 fish.
Right.
Where, I have to still beat the water until I get one of those things to rise. So.
Right.
So if in the situation that you had recorded, the 2 people that were there, if one guy had caught 4 or 5 of them and the other one only caught 1, that one person is 3 fish over his limit.
Right.
Right. So or up to 8, whichever one it was.
Right.
So and that happens quite a bit too, is where somebody they'll want a party bag, so to speak. And same thing happens with deer hunting as it does with trapping and things like that too. So yeah, it's it's a clear and blatant violation as it's written. Now the first year it was open, we were a little bit lenient because the laws needed to get out, and people need to know them or get to know them. And part of our job as game wardens is also to educate the public. And so, but we're 3rd year into it, I believe, somewhere in there. It's well enough known, and it's posted very, very well.
Well, that's what I was
posted.
Very well posted.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, is that where they parked, there's a sign right above the car.
Right.
That's right. And they said, well, we couldn't understand the sign.
They didn't understand what the sign said.
So we went and looked and read the sign to see if it was ambiguous.
Right.
But it's not. It's very, very clear.
And just like traffic signs on the highway, they're only for the people that have an affinity for wanting to really read.
That's right.
While driving.
Right.
So, it's everybody will claim, oh, I didn't see the sign. And if I've heard that once, I've heard it a million times.
Right. Right.
So as a person who observes this, what should a person do if we see something that we know is a violation, and we're not, of course not officers?
Well, just like anything, any law violation, doesn't matter if it's fish and wildlife or an assault or traffic offense. Be the best witness you can be is what we try and encourage people to do. Physical descriptions, which was awesome. You have it in all the video.
Right.
A license plate number gets us so far down the path of an investigation than just taking a picture like they do on TV and throwing it into a computer database, and all of a sudden, 10 seconds later, you have to have a database, number one, of qualified people. And so in that situation, be the best witness you can be. Clothing descriptions if you don't have a camera.
Right.
Physical descriptions, license plate numbers of vehicles. If you've got a cell phone, call dispatch or call. I hate to say call 911 because it's not an emergency, but if that's the only number you've got, use what you have.
Right.
And make a report. Or if you can get all that information, put it together, call our Operation Game Thief line.
Right.
The 1-800-75-ALERT.
Well, we're going to put that in the bottom of our show here, and people can call that too.
Yep.
But there's a couple things I want to talk to you about too when we come back out of our break, and I don't know. I hope it gets people going.
We'll see what we can do.
All right, folks. Well, we need to take another quick break. Hang tight for the outdoor tip of the week right after this.
Hi, I'm Paul Moline from the Lodge at Latham Smith. You are watching Outdoor Secrets.
We're gonna let this bad boy go, but wow! Look at that fish!
Oh my God, that's a
Wow! The Outdoor Tip of the Week is brought to you by Targets Unlimited.
Hi, Dale Helgeson with your Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped Tip of the Week. Today we're going to talk about traveling for fishing, whether you're transporting live bait, keeping them alive at your house, ice fishing, if you're camping and need water regenerated, it's recirculated. I want to talk to you about a couple little products. This is Johnson Pumps. It's a portable aeration system. And this is Dakota Lithium battery pack. Lithium batteries. It actually has lights, USBs, everything right built into this one pack. The nice thing with this little thing, you can put this in any cooler. You put it in a cooler, you can put it in a bait box. If you have a pontoon boat and want to make a live well, you can get something like this. It does 400 gallons a minute. I put these little clips on so I can just clip it right onto this. I did disconnect the battery so it doesn't run out of the water. But you can just clip these on and you can have 400 gallons a minute of recirculating water in a cooler. So I just took this little cooler here, and you can see it comes with this little snap that you actually pop your hose into. You can mount this to the side too if you really wanted, but you can mount this if it's going to be more of a permanent application. But in other words, and you can see this, the water comes out of all these things. But this is a great way to keep your bait alive, whether you're on a boat, ice fishing, at your house, in your garage, just to get a nice recirculating pump. You're still going to want to change your water when you do use this, because you're going to need fresh water every other day or so. You're going to want to keep putting fresh water in there. But this will recirculate it and keep the oxygen in there to keep your bait alive. So that is your Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped tip of the week.
Unwrapped with Chris Bates, Stephanie Calabro, Travis Buttle, and talking about fishing violations. So we're talking a little bit off camera here. So what does the incident of did I say that right? Incident or instance? That's what I want. Instance.
Could be both.
Anyway, how do I not be afraid to make the call? So, for example, I see a violation in the water, and I know it's a violation. How do I, instead of confronting the perpetrator, do I just secretly go off and call 1-800-75-ALERT?
Well, everybody's different. That's the part. It depends on what the fabric is of your life that you're in. There's a lot of folks nowadays, they don't want to be a snitch for anything.
Right.
Back from when I was in school, the most reused term that I've ever used in this line of work has been bystander apathy. And
what?
Bystander apathy is you're apathetic to
Right.
engage.
Right.
And there isn't any one particular type of person that does or does not. It depends on what pushes them over their threshold
Gotcha.
of needing or wanting to act, and then pushing them over the threshold of them caring enough to act.
Oh, I see.
So you're passionate about fishing.
Right.
And many other things. So it doesn't take you much to push you over that threshold.
Right.
Some people, they drive with blinders on, they walk with blinders on, they live with blinders on. They don't want to get involved with anybody else's business.
But do you find in your profession where, let's say you come across a guy like myself who's out in the rivers all the time, in the streams, and I know the laws and I know what goes on, and versus the guy who comes out, like I saw some people out on the river the other day, they were just up from another state and they came for the day. So to me, that's one of those people that would say, well, I'm only here for the day. I'll just go ahead and catch some fish and off I go.
Right. And that's, they know that they're going to take the risk over the risk of not getting caught versus getting caught.
Right.
And so that's a big part of it. But going back to what would compel somebody to call is that internal passion.
Gotcha.
Well, why
that
should
drives
they
you.
call?
Why should
Why
they?
should a person call, get involved and make the call?
Doing the right thing. That's a broad answer. But, you know, and again, it goes back to whether or not they feel that that's the right thing or not. Some people, oh, I don't want to ruin his day or her day. I don't want to get involved with their business.
Right.
I'm just here. If I end up calling, I'm going to ruin the rest of my hunting trip or my fishing trip, because then I'll have to talk with the warden, and then those people are going to eyeball me.
Right.
You know, and then I might have to come back for court. And there's 10 million of excuses.
See that fly?
It was fast.
That fly was fast. I was like, what is that?
So, you know, there's 10 million reasons why people will talk themselves out of acting.
I gotcha.
And every one of them is different, you know.
Right.
So.
Well, you know, go ahead, Steph.
So it's a good possibility that if someone is there taking 8 fish, 10 fish, he might have taken 15 fish out of that part of the river. Right. If Chris hadn't said something, but he may do that day after day.
Very possible.
So you know, it's.
And that goes back to your question was, you know, why would somebody call? Well, it depends on, you know, I think the best reasoning that I've heard is, you know, those folks are taking the fish that my kid would be able to catch.
Right.
Or,
right.
you know, my client, if you've got a guide of some sort. And so, you know, those are the folks that have a passion that's stronger than just coming up for the weekend. Right. And I'm just going to jump in and out and be done.
But do you find that in Bennington County, do you find a lot of fish poaching going on? You know, do you run into that, or do you run into more, I don't have a license type thing?
It's about equally spread, honestly, and mostly with the stocked areas. You know? Right. Every year when someplace gets stocked, you know, it's a great game for us wardens to go babysit the fish that were just stocked.
Right. Right.
You know, that's when we have the most fun of sitting in the sticks and watching people for hours upon hours.
Catching 5-gallon bucketfuls.
Yeah.
Oh, they're just stocked fish. Who cares?
And the excuses are as long as my arm as far as which ones are what for.
What's a good excuse?
You know, well, that's what I mean. Is oh, gee, I didn't know, or oh, that last one I caught was hooked really bad, and I didn't want to throw it away, you know, or oh, I was catching his for him. The best one is when they lie to you. Oh, no. Those 4 are his, and these 5 are mine. Right. Really?
You know.
Well, I don't think so.
You know, I forgot to ask you. We're almost out of time, but explain real quickly, if I understand this right. 12 brook trout alone. You can keep up to 12 brook trout, correct?
Depending on the water body. General regulations, yes. Okay. Like say one of our remote streams. Right. 12 brook trout, or any combination of browns and rainbows up to 6. Right. And the remainders can be brook trout. Okay. You could have 8 brook trout and 4 brown trout.
Okay, that's what I wanted to make sure, because then I got that right. So.
Yeah. Yep.
But if I wanted only rainbows, then it's just 6 rainbows. That's it.
That's it.
Or 6 browns.
Correct. So. Yep. You got it.
All right. I just wanted to make sure.
There was another thing we had talked about before, was like in the trophy section where you can only take 2. Right. Then you can't bring your fish from where you were fishing over for brookies somewhere else, because how on earth could anyone tell? Yeah. So you really have to take those, not bring them over to your.
Correct. Yeah. Well, you take them to your abode, you know, and then come back. Right. But those would fit into your 12 fish limit too, for the day. So you don't want to be able to take.
All right. Well,
it sounds very complicated. It sounds like it's very hard.
Hi, I'm Stephen Hand with Maine Sport Outfitters here in Rockport, Maine, and you're watching Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped.
Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped in the Kitchen is brought to you in part by Mercer Sport. Hey, welcome in to Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped in the kitchen, and we are going to make a very simple garlic scape pesto with some very simple ingredients.
Pin Oak here at Pin Oak Ridge Farms, located in Delavan, Wisconsin. Today what I'm going to show you is some lollipop chops is what we call them. So anyways, what we did, these are from French racks, which is the most expensive cut on the lamb. Just get some out here to show you. And what we did is we marinated them in our Greek marinade overnight in this vacuum sealed bag. There. That's what they look like. So we just got the grill going here on coals. It's low heat, and they're not going to take long at all. So we're just going to pepper them on here. So usually everybody stands around the grill, and lamb does not need to be well done. Lamb is way better off to be medium or to a rare. So see that one side is already cooked that fast. They're looking pretty good. And typically what we do is we just put like a paper towel or a napkin around the bottom of the bone, and we eat them right away. You really gotta be diligent about sticking around the grill when you're doing these. They're looking amazing. I don't even know how long it's taken, maybe 2-3 minutes. Lamb is the leanest red meat, domesticated animals, I should say. So this is what we do. Just get a napkin, like that, and voila.
$42, $39, $56, you can say she's got it all. The place, right? And, you know, everybody who knows me and on Facebook that's following us and on the radio show here and the TV show and everything that we do, I'm a Bigfoot freak, and I'm all obsessed with Bigfoot.
Right.
So we're walking down this one aisle, right? And Steph says, "What's that?" And I look over there, and it took me a second to register because I looked at the fake plaster feet.
The Sasquatch booth.
It was the Sasquatch.
Sasquatch hunters.
Yeah. And it was called, okay, so Massachusetts, but they put the Saskatoon. I said Saskatoonshits, but anyway.
Something like that, right?
Yeah, I don't know how to say it. The Saskatoonshits.
So something like I can't say.
Well, anyway, so I couldn't say it. But anyway, so they had all these people, you know, and they're giving the big spiel about Bigfoot's real and everything. So I'm excited. I'm like, oh gosh, how great we can go and get these guys
them on the show.
Yeah.
Right? Because we go through in the hours before the show starts and try to
find some guests. Good guests, like we always
see
do.
some interesting people. So
right.
Oh yeah, we should get the Sasquatch people.
Yeah, so I was all excited about getting the Sasquatch people on, right? And so I go in there and I start talking to the one guy, and the one guy's, yeah, we'll do it. We'll be more than happy to do it. And then the dictator, I guess his name was, comes over.
He took himself a little too serious.
Yeah, and he was talking to me, and I said, well, you know, I really don't believe in this. He said, what? You don't believe in this? And he started making this big hoop to do, and
He got really angry.
Yeah. It's like, you're an idiot. I call him an idiot. You're an idiot.
You know, he had an opportunity to come on the radio and plead his case.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, maybe
What
he
is
has
that
information
pounding?
we don't have. Do you hear that? Do you
What
hear
is that
in the
noise? Can you
background?
hear that, John?
Not in my headphones, but I hear it.
What is it?
I have no idea.
Aaron.
I'm looking into it.
Oh, all right. So we can keep going. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I just believe it on
Strange
airwaves.
sound.
It's the airwaves
The
outside.
airwaves outside are, you know, we're
All right. So
being
there you go.
monitored by the.
That's good.
There we go.
All right. No, it's still kind of popping a little.
It is.
I can
It is
still
a
hear it.
strange
That's
thing.
weird. Anyway, so let's finish our story. So,
So needless to say, he refused to come on.
yeah, he refused to come on the radio show. All
You
about
would think that, you know, if you're in that business of believing in Bigfoot
Fake.
and all,
anybody
you
who
must
believes in
know
it's got something wrong with them.
that like
He's fake.
75% of the people out there aren't going to believe in it.
Well, exactly.
So you've got to have a kind of thick skin when you go into.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Well, here's what I always say: the bigger the lie, the more the people will believe it. You know, just tell the
Well, if
big
you're gonna
monster lie.
Tell a lie. It might as well be a big one.
Well, exactly. There you go, Aaron. You fixed
Why
it.
waste it on a little?
Whatever it was, it's fixed. Okay.
It's fixed.
So yeah, so the guy, and he's like, oh, well, we can't come on there if you don't want to really believe in this. Why should I come on your show? It's like, okay, well, have fun. Wait till you hear the first part of my show. So
needless to say, now you know.
So now
if he came on, at least we would have given him the courtesy of listening to him.
Exactly.
And not mocking him, but.
I love mocking.
But now,
there's nothing better than mocking
now that he
somebody.
turned us down, well, he's fair game.
He's fair game.
As far as
Yeah.
I can tell.
No, how dare? Then he had that fake plaster cast out there of fake feet.
They look very fake.
How hard is it to go out in the side of our mountain where we're at? I could dig a fake foot, pour the plaster, and just look. Bigfoot was here.
Oh yeah.
Did you see it?
Absolutely.
Did you see it running? God, who
could probably
believes in this?
Buy fake
Bigfoot foot.
Oh yeah.
What is that? I could buy a Bigfoot foot.
A Bigfoot foot, and then you could go and make
Bigfoot marks.
Make
Tracks.
Bigfoot marks. Yeah.
We should do that.
That was Bigfoot was spotted up there.
Did you hear that?
On the White Rocks Trail.
Did you see it?
Up behind our house.
Did you see that? Did you get that on film? Chris, it's fuzzy. It's blurry, but we got it.
There you go.
And we'll circle it. See? That
Yeah, all the people out there with your trail cams.
Oh, I know.
Never picked up one that you could actually make out?
I know. We could get deer and bear.
Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped is brought to you in part by White Rocks Design Studio at Turcotte Design, who has been serving Southern Vermont for over 20 years. Fish Donkey, the future of tournament fishing. Targets Unlimited, Mercer Sports. Outdoor Secrets Unwrapped hot sauce with that big craft heat and that big craft taste. Corker Boots, P-Line, Sugar Mountain Trading Company. The Outdoor Experience Guide Service, who has been serving Southern Wisconsin for over 20 years. Cooler Guard Spray with the cleaning power of enzymes. Okuma Fishing. Hoffman Lures Incorporated. And a proud member of the Southwest Chamber of Commerce.
We'll meet you again. May God bless you. Adios. Wise men say only fools rush in. But I can't help falling in love